I have not.
I'm not asking the question about since 2 days ago, although nothing prevented
That's when they first raised the concern.
Nothing prevented you from writing a letter within the last 2 days or reaching out to the White House before this.
Now you want me to be clairvoyant and read the White House's mind and write a letter before they tell us something?
Nothing prevented you from seeking these materials from the White House.
Is known for
months, Mr. Chairman. For months.
I'm not a mind reader.
I thank you for making a very clean record for any court that will look at this.
The gentleman from North Carolina said
an accommodation
months ago the White House could have raised the concern, and they didn't.
These documents.
All right, guys, welcome back. Did you see that? I mean, honestly, how does Adam Schiff even show his face in that committee room anymore? We just saw a tiny clip of it. But today, we are diving into the full exchange where Chairman Jim Jordan basically schools Schiff on how subpoenas actually work. Look, we know the drill by now. Schiff comes in with these intellectual traps, trying to play lawyer with Supreme Court cases like Mazars, acting like he's the only one who's ever read a law book. But you can see it on Jordan's face. He's not having it. He's tired of the games. The left is trying everything they can to protect Biden's ghostwriter, a guy who literally tried to delete evidence. And Schiff is out here acting like Jim Jordan is the one breaking the rules. It's peak gaslighting, folks. Let's get into the full video and watch Jordan push back hard against this master of disinformation.
Point of order, who seeks recognition? Gentleman from California is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, much as I don't like certain parts of the Mazars decision, it clearly applies in this case, and the committee is required to engage with the White House in order to seek an accommodation over materials held by a private party, as they were in the Mazars case, and seek to resolve this with the White House. So I would ask unanimous consent that we enter into the record your correspondence to the White House.
Objection.
Seeking to engage them to resolve this. And I thank the chairman for not objecting. Can you produce that correspondence to the White House asking for accommodation on these materials you've sought by this subpoena?
First time they reached out to us was 2 days ago.
Yes, and of course the author expressed the concern that these materials may implicate interests of the executive. I think that was weeks ago. But having admitted without dissent your correspondence to the White House, can you produce that for us where you have sought an accommodation, where you've sought to work this out with the White House? Can you share that with us since that is now part of the record?
Well, I thought you had it. You wanted to enter it into the record.
I do. I presume that, knowing your responsibilities, you have sought to engage the White House. So,
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Produce the
recognized for point of order.
I think a unanimous consent request to submit something to the record is where the person who's asking for the floor is the proponent of submitting information that member has. I don't believe it's appropriate to ask a unanimous consent request to engage in a colloquy over discovering information or obtaining information from another member of the committee.
Great, and that's why I said that no objection to the unanimous consent request. If the gentleman from California wants to talk about that and present it to us, God bless him. He's allowed to do it. So it's 5 minutes.
I would like clarification from the chairman. Does this mean that there is no correspondence from you to the White House seeking accommodation on this material?
We've had all kinds of correspondence with the White House on this broad subject relative to this one answer in the letter we got 2 days ago. We've not corresponded with the White House yet.
And
we will, we may. That's a decision we'll make.
And you have not corresponded with the White House seeking accommodation ever since the author who you are subpoenaing and seeking to hold in contempt articulated the view that there was executive interest and potential privilege over this material. You haven't sought to engage over the weeks since you received that communication?
We have not engaged with the White House since the letter on the 25th of this month, 2 days ago.
And prior to that time, did you engage the White House in an effort to obtain these materials?
All kinds of engagements with our counsel and counsel.
I'm talking about
the Justice Department and White House with our counsel over the last several months relative to the special counsel
this subpoena, Mr. Chairman. Did you engage with the White House at any time in the last several weeks since issuing this subpoena, the one you want to hold this witness in contempt for? Did you ever engage with the White House in an effort to accommodate, an effort to reach an agreement, an effort to prevent this from having to be litigated? Did you ever write any correspondence, make any call to the White House seeking to engage, seeking to get these materials that you're seeking from the author instead from the White House. Did you ever do that, Mr. Chairman?
We're seeking documents from a private individual who, I might add, tried to destroy the
So
evidence
I guess
that
the
we are
question is,
seeking.
I guess the answer is
Since-
no.
Since
I
2
guess
days
the answer is no.
The answer is, since 2 days ago, I have not.
I'm not asking the
sought-
question about since 2 days ago, although nothing
That's when they
prevented you-
first raised the concern.
Nothing prevented you from writing a letter within the last 2 days or reaching out to the White House before this.
Now you want me to be
Markup.
clairvoyant and read the
But-
White House's mind and write a letter
but
before they
nothing-
tell us something? That is-
Nothing prevented you from seeking these
gentleman
materials
from
from the White
California
House
is known for-
months, Mr. Chairman, for months.
I'm not a mind reader. I
And,
don't know what they're-
I thank you for making a very clean record for any court that will look at this, that you
gentleman from
never
North Carolina
sought
said
an accommodation
months ago the
at
White House
all
could have raised
to
the concern,
to
and they
obtain these
didn't.
documents. Because your first move, of course, is to go right to contempt. Ironically, of course, for a chairman who was in contempt of his own subpoena.
Point of order, Mr.
We're still
Chairman.
waiting for you to testify and meet the obligations of your own subpoena, Mr. Chairman. But nevertheless, I appreciate you're making such a clean record for any court in this case that you have never sought an accommodation, never written to the White House, never called the White House, never had a communication with the White House in order to obtain these materials as part of an accommodation. Thank you for that very clean record for the court, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Who seeks recognition?
Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Did you guys catch that logic? Schiff is literally asking Jim Jordan to produce correspondence that Schiff assumes exists, just so he can create a gotcha moment. It's a fishing expedition inside a committee hearing. And then you've got Dan Bishop stepping in. Love that guy. Calling out exactly what Schiff was doing. He was trying to turn a standard record submission into a discovery process. They want to slow this down. They want to gum up the works because they know that the ghostwriter has some serious explaining to do. What the best part, the clairvoyance line. Jordan literally says, "What? Do you want me to be a mind reader?" Think about the audacity here. The White House waits until 48 hours before the markup to say, "Hey, wait, we might have an interest here." And Schiff acts like it's Jordan's fault for not anticipating their excuses 6 months ago. It's a total stall tactic. Jordan is 100% right. This is a private citizen. If you're a private guy and you've got documents Congress wants, you don't get to hide behind the president's skirt just because you wrote a book for him. And of course, because Schiff has nothing left. He goes to his favorite old reliable at the very end. Jordan's own subpoena. It's the ultimate I have no legal argument left move. He knows he lost the debate on the ghostwriter, so he throws a personal jab about the January 6th committee to try and get a headline. Jim Jordan stayed focused. He kept it on the facts. Biden's ghostwriter tried to destroy evidence, and the Democrats are doing everything in their power to make sure the American people never see what was in those notes. What do you guys think? Is Adam Schiff the most frustrating guy in D.C., or is there someone I'm missing? Drop a comment below. Hit that like button for Chairman Jim Jordan, and make sure to subscribe, because we are following this Biden investigation every single step of the way.